Commence primary ignition. Hey, where are the white women at?
I'm not up to date with it, so
Okay.
it's my
Oh wait, I'm sorry.
Okay, stop cutting it out, you bitch.
Alright, I started recording. Okay.
Yeah, we know you started recording. That was such a fake ass laugh, you dumb bitch.
No, I was doing the Joker laugh.
That just sounded like the Allen
And
laugh.
the laugh before that was a real laugh because I was laughing at what happened before.
What happened before?
The fact that you don't watch my shit, but it's fine. I'm gonna do 2 Joker reviews. Alright, let me do my little
I only
intro.
watched the shit that I'm in.
let him do his intro.
Alright. Hello, you're listening to the Maibalzich podcast. This is episode 10! Alright, that's it. I wanted to do something special with episode 10. Have like special guests, like a whole thing, but instead, I'm here with Josh. Josh Fuzz, Mr. Fuzzy Bear himself, not Josh Milan, which I have yet to get on my show. But instead, I have to settle for. I'm sorry, I don't mean to. Settle's the wrong word to use. I have to deal with
There you go.
this. You're Josh. Come on.
I am a joy to be around. I'll have you know.
I also have.
Victor, what did you call me the other day? A national treasure?
I haven't been introduced yet.
I haven't been to all 50 states, so I wouldn't say national. We're also joined for the first time ever on the Maibalzich podcast. Everyone's favorite. The women love him. The men want to be in him. Ladies and gentlemen, Victor.
What?
He's sitting back like real chill on my bed, so you can't even hear him. I'm leaning. My back is aching right now. Leaning into this goddamn mic. We're still dealing with the Samson mic, so I'm scooting it closer. We got the AC cranked up. We just saw the Joker. It was my second time watching it. It was their first time. I didn't want to tell them, but they got to find out anyway because I did do a Joker review on my last episode.
You
So
told us as we were going into the.
that's why I was laughing. So I'm not gonna say much, but I still have a lot to say. It's a good movie, but I want to know what you thought, Josh.
How can I put this?
Oh, what do you mean, man? We couldn't shut up.
I thought it was a piece of shit.
No,
Nah, that's a lie. I thought it was alright.
It's gonna hurt people's ears.
don't be controversial. No, you liked it. Victor liked it. I'm speaking for him.
No, I thought it was better than Leto.
It was better than Leto.
Nothing will ever
Put-
be better than
Put that on the poster.
Jared.
Who directed it? Ryan Philippine or Ryan Phillips? Some guy. Everyone says the Hangover guy directed it.
What?
The guy who directed Hangover directed this movie.
No fucking way.
That's what I heard too.
Look it up.
I'm looking it up right now.
He's Googling it. Maybe not the first Hangover, but definitely Hangover 2 and 3.
No.
Which were the worst ones. The first one's arguably the best one.
Yeah.
But, you know, he did that. He did a few other movies. I think he did Due Date with Robert Downey Jr. and Zach Galifianakis.
I
And
remember that movie.
he did a few other movies. He's usually a comedy guy, but you could say this one was kind of a comedy. I laughed. But it's got
He
everyone.
did all 3 Hangover movies.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
So how about Robert De Niro as game show host. Oh, not a game show host.
Oh yeah,
Late night host.
He's cool. He's a when they announced the movie and they're all doing their little who's gonna be in it, stuff. They announced Robert De Niro, and they pretty much early on said that he was gonna be the game show. God damn it! I'm doing it now. the TV show host, and I guess they didn't really expect him to be a big role, but he kind of was.
I mean, it's Robert De Niro.
Yeah, because I think him being Robert De Niro made his role bigger than it was, but it was still big. It was his idol growing up.
It's a reoccurring character.
Look, if you're paying
Arthur
for
Fleck.
a horse for your little girl's birthday, she's gonna get on that fucking horse.
Wait, what?
You've never heard that phrase before?
No. What girl?
It's just a phrase.
What horse?
The phrase goes, if you buy a horse for your kid's birthday, they're gonna ride that fucking horse.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I heard that phrase when growing up a few times about wasting shit.
It's like we're on a metaphorical road trip, and we're constantly getting off to go pee.
Look, they paid to have Robert De Niro in the movie. They're gonna fucking use him. He's not a cameo actor. It's Robert fucking Niro.
Yeah.
They're not gonna give him some 2-bit 5-minute part. They bought the horse. They're gonna fucking make sure he gets ridden on.
I just love how you separated his name into 3 words, and you put fucking on each.
It's Robert De Niro. Show the man some fucking respect.
Yeah,
definitely knows how to
but
wear blue.
yeah, because wasn't he the taxi driver guy, Travis Bickle?
I don't know. I've never seen any of those fucking movies.
No, because everyone knows that the Joker, the director, the whole thing is heavily inspired by Taxi Driver and a few other movies from the late 70s. And
I was honestly getting some really big Wes Anderson films from.
really,
Yeah, with the title sequence and just like some of the camera work.
Interesting.
Nothing from the script was Wes Anderson, but it seemed like it was filmed.
Like cinematography? You like the cinematography? Yeah.
Everything's set up like a play.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Man.
Alright. Especially the end. So did he kill that woman?
I just realized right now, as we're talking really loud, there's people in the next room who haven't seen the movie yet.
But it's a good thing we haven't actually said any spoilers, huh?
I guess we gotta do a spoiler-free shit.
But
Wait,
we haven't said any spoilers yet, though.
I don't know if they could hear
How
us.
thin are the walls?
I don't know if they're awake.
Well, I will assure you she will be awake by the end of this.
It's 1 a.m. In case you guys are wondering, listening, it's 1 a.m. We just came home, and man, everyone knows Robert De Niro's in it. He gets.
Yes, it's Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
Even if you just hear he's playing a TV personality, you know he's gonna be somewhat prominent.
Yeah. But yeah, it's based off of Taxi Driver. I personally don't see any. I've seen Taxi Driver before, and it's similar, but I don't really put it in the same frame by frame. Everyone's comparing the two. It's a dude who's disgruntled, and by the end he ends. 'Cause in Taxi Driver, he's disgruntled. And by the end, he ends up, I can't remember. I think he shoots people, and then he takes the girl who's he takes, what's her name? Because he couldn't get the other girl, and he rescues the little girl who's a prostitute, and she's only like 13. And no,
What were we ever talking about?
Taxi Driver.
Oh yeah, I never saw Taxi Driver.
I
That's the
have also
problem.
never seen Taxi Driver.
Yeah, it's the movie where it's where he's known for going. "Oh, you talking to me? You talking to me? There's no one else here. You must be talking to me."
I've never heard anyone say that.
I
You never heard that? Everyone who's pretending to be Robert De Niro, they always do that line.
yeah.
I've heard the.
You're such a young peach, Josh.
I've heard, the whole.
You're such an
Are you
innocent,
feeling lucky today, punk bitch?
such a summer child.
Of course I fucking heard it, you dumb bitch.
You tell him, Josh.
Talking to me?
It's literally every now and then you get a character just doing that in a mirror.
Well, you're talking to me. I'm
trying
gonna keep
to
doing
hype
it.
themselves up, trying to hype themselves up.
It's old enough to be played out.
But the Joker didn't do it. He just did Tai Chi.
Yeah, what was that? Is there a reason for that? Is that just one of his quirks?
Watching it again.
Wait, his whole dancing bit?
Yeah, it almost looks like ballet, but
I
I
think.
thought it was dancing. He was doing Tai Chi?
Well, he was dancing, but the way he was doing it so gracefully.
it's like he was playing a violin.
I kind of want to play like something loud to mask our voices, but that's just gonna mask our voices from the fucking mic.
Well, that's why you get the friggin' eggshell card.
The eggshells. That's what you. Okay, I understand what you're saying now. I want the like legit foam though, because I want to soundproof my room. Cause ladies. But really, for my drums and music and these podcasts, you're probably right. For all I know, I could do this whole room in like badass soundproofing shit, and
Gotta work with what
the actual sound of our voices might sound better because everything resonates.
Anyways, back to the joke.
Resonating off of these puny ass white walls. I mean, who knows,
Just
man?
ignore me.
Yeah.
No, I'm just trying to explain the
thing.
sound. What the fuck do I know? Keep going, Josh. What were you saying? I'm sorry.
No, I wasn't saying anything.
It's
He
your
was-
birthday. It's Josh's birthday. I forgot to mention that earlier. Maibalzich podcast, episode 10, sponsored by Josh's. How old are you?
25.
25th birthday. Everybody throw out a big old whoop-de-doo. Hallelujah. Yippee-ki-yay.
Mamacita.
Mamacita. From the windows to the walls. The sweat dropped down all the balls.
There we go. Skeet.
Skeet. Throw out a big skeet for Uncle Josh over here. It's his birthday.
The youngest in the group, Uncle Josh.
I am baby.
Uncle Josh over here with his little charm. So you guys, let's change the subject abruptly. I don't know when the last time I did this on my my Joker podcast, but it's been like a week or so, and I feel bad for not filling in all 3 audience members of the Maibalzich podcast, but I like to just update people. And I had fun the other night. I performed open heart surgery on my PlayStation, and it was really fun. It was harrowing. It was dramatic. I had to cut off everything. I had my poor baby. I don't have a girlfriend right now. I'm very single. I'm very lonely, and the only thing I have to look forward to every day when I come home from work is my dear old PlayStation. She's been there for me when human women aren't.
What about Austin the cat?
Fuck Austin, alright? I'm tired of that little cat.
He just wants to cuddle.
He does. I don't like it.
He just wants to be carried.
He just wants your love.
You guys are ignoring Xander. Xander's
Xander's furniture.
Xander's not furniture.
I love Xander.
He's just
I do.
big boned, all right.
He just sits
He's
there.
fine. He's cool.
Xander doesn't want attention. But
Xander
Austin does.
He's
Barely
cool
has
for
a personality. His personality is hunger.
You haven't been there when I come home from work crying and in the fetal position on the floor and my arms are out like Christ himself, and Xander comes to me and he puts his little paw on my arm and he shakes he nods his head in agreement, and he's there when you need him.
It's like one of those Joker delusions.
If you come home
Brought it all the way back.
If you come home and you just want to cuddle, and you just want to I just want some empty ass cuddling. Let me just get no, because Xander's above that. He's not gonna give you that bullshit. He's like, fuck you, earn it. You ain't got problems. You're just wanting a fucking quick fuck, and you want to get out of here. Xander ain't no 1 minute man. He ain't no fucking hurt and squirt. Xander's a man. If you have some issues, if you got a problem, Xander will be there, but he can smell past the bullshit. Xander is the real MVP.
Xander seems like a cat I can have a beer with, but you know what? Sometimes I want a cat I can do cocaine with. And Austin's that cat.
There you go.
Well, first of all, you shouldn't be doing cocaine, Josh. It's very bad for you. It's a stimulant, and it'll give you false hopes and false courage.
Sometimes that's all you need, though.
Maybe. But sometimes you need to just wind down.
Alan, everything is false until it's true.
Oh, God.
Just like how comedy is subjective.
Brought it back again.
That's right, motherfuckers. I brought it back to the Joker movie.
Joaquin Phoenix did a phenomenal job.
He actually did.
Right?
Okay, so when I first saw Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, the makeup, when they released the pictures online, I thought it was a fucking joke.
Yeah.
I thought it was a big what if.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, here's some concept art, here's some concept makeup. But no, it was really good. I really liked it. It was much more grounded than the whole he fell into a vat of chemicals.
Yeah. Yeah, I never really bought that origin.
Now, don't get me wrong, that still counts as his origin. This was simply his first step into the Joker.
Yeah.
I know they're already planning a sequel for it, so who knows? That might be what we get. Joker we saw the birth of the Joker.
Yeah.
Now we gotta see the birth of the Red Hood.
We've never seen the birth of the Joker, not like this. I don't think anyone's ever really...
I don't think we've ever gotten a birth.
You got a little bit from the animated movie with when he's
Red Hood.
with Red Hood, but they took some pages out of the Red Hood, but they didn't incorporate the actual Red Hood. But he is this failing comedian, but instead of his wife, he's with his mom.
It's just one part of Joker's origin.
He's got so many origins. That's the thing. Even in the Dark Knight, he's like, you want to know how I got these scars? And he tells 5 different stories.
I don't think we can really count the Nolan verse as any kind of real...
That's a Joker. That's why I like this one, is because
The thing is that this Joker had... this is one of the comic book origins of the Joker.
Yeah.
Like you said, there have been a couple different origins for it. This is just the first step in how he became the Madman. Eventually down the line, he might become the Red Hood.
You think he still has to become the Red Hood after this Joker?
Why
I
not?
think it's possible.
It could still happen.
Because the Red Hood is still when he's a loser and they're forcing him to wear the Red Hood.
I think they could work around that.
But he's already a fucking beloved,
Anarchist,
hero.
Yeah, exactly. They
As
could they could want him to imagine he is just a chaotic evil anarchist, and he's inspiring hundreds, if not thousands, of people to rise up. They're gonna want him to be our leader, and he's gonna have to step up into that. He's gonna have to, if this is how the sequel goes, he's gonna have to step up and maybe drop some of that insanity.
I don't know if
to
they'll do
become
it.
the Red Hood, And then at the movie, he's gonna bring at the end of the assume the Joker sequel, he's gonna bring it back and he's gonna be 10 times worse.
I just love the slow, like, tense build up to him becoming the Joker we all know and love. Like, because I went into the movie the first time thinking, okay, there's a lot of controversy. Everyone's bitching and complaining about it. But it's a Joker movie. We all know he's a psychopath. We all know he kills people. We're just seeing the beginnings of it. And everyone's comparing it to a normal, everyday, cisgender male incel motherfucker who's like,
well, I think
has one bad day. All it takes is one bad day. Like, no, it's a Joker.
Well, I think the reason people do that is because there's a lot of people real life who see Joker as a role model, as someone to look up to. And they are those incel man baby man show.
Like the guy who shot up the Dark Knight Rises
basically
showing.
They're those crazy nut jobs who self-pity and they hate themselves and they blame the world for their own problems. And eventually, they get it done and they just take it out on everyone but themselves. And a lot of those people tend to see the Joker as something to look up to. It's sort of like when you meet someone and they talk about how they're a fan of World War II and they're a fan of the Nazis' fashion. And you get to know them and, oh, wait, shit, this person's a fucking Nazi.
Now, hold on. I'm going to have to interject there. I'm not a fan of the Nazi regime and what they do. I'm not a fan of world domination or bombing countries that have nothing to do.
I'd be rather good at it.
I'm not a fan of invading Belgium when they had nothing to do with any kind of conflict globally. I'm not a fan of killing peoples for religious or gender reasons. I guess what I'm trying to say is they had some pretty dope uniforms, and you gotta just
their fashion sense was on.
Whoever designed their uniform, they just fell on the wrong side of history. I mean, I'm just same goes for their engineers who made all of their cars and weapons. It's
Oh, don't give me that shit about the cars. They were using those damn fucking Beetle cars as fucking war machines.
Yeah.
They were strapping fucking machine guns to that shit. They wanted to act like that was like the equivalent of America's Jeep.
But the Jeep came out on top because I mean you don't see Beetles riding around on the fucking battlefield anymore.
Oh, you see a Beetle, it's just like, ha, it's a Beetle. That's a joke of a car.
Well, I never.
We make children's games out
Did
of
people ride Beetles in the war?
Yeah.
Shit.
People drove Beetles in the war.
Did they drive Beetles and then they realized, wait, we also invented tanks, so fuck?
Well, the Beetle was basically the equivalent to like the Jeep, and I think we're getting a little off topic.
No.
Let's get into the weeds.
We're getting into because the Nazis were clowns.
Did you guys ever watch
in more ways than one?
You guys ever watch Top Gear?
Top Gear?
Top Gear.
Yeah.
Top Gun?
The British one,
yeah,
or
the one with the British dudes.
The three British dudes in the
I remember their
sometimes
Russian episode. They had a little Beetle that was a vehicle made out of leather.
Wait,
just completely.
Wait, like just the inside was leather. Or
I mean, you can't make a combustion engine with leather, but
everything
outside of that,
everything.
Everything else besides the components that need to be metal and plastic and whatnot.
Wait, like the chassis and the roof and the doors and
it's all leather.
The floor, the wheels.
I don't know about the wheels.
The axles.
I think the wheels might have been
suspension, leather suspension, springs.
No.
Tell me the only thing that wasn't leather was the actual upholstery.
A leather transmission, leather exhaust.
No, I don't think the.
Oh shit! You're not making a lot of sense because you're telling us everything was leather,
And then you're
Everything was
telling us
leather.
the exhaust wasn't leather.
and we can't. I guess we could look it up on the computer.
Did the
I don't
car
feel like
run
it, though.
on methane? Because if you're gonna make it out of dead cow, you gotta go the full line.
Oh shit!
No, I don't think they had that kind of engineering back.
You know what? Let's
Let's get back to the Joker.
let's believe Victor and just everyone close your eyes and imagine a car completely made out of leather.
I'd rather not.
It would smell good. I was at a leather shop downtown at
It
the
would
market.
smell good for the first 3 days, and then you'd leave it out in the sun, or it would rain, and suddenly you'd realize maybe this wasn't the best idea.
Well, luckily they live
Maybe
in
this
the
wasn't a
cold.
wise investment of my parents' college
Not a
fund.
whole lot of
Yeah.
sun in Siberia.
A lot of dead animals. I mean, what did they kill? Oh, I bet it was like whale leather.
Now, don't get me wrong,
I would.
a car made of leather would be great for road trips.
Oh, it was terrible.
Because then if you get hungry, you don't gotta stop anywhere.
You're gonna eat your car?
Leather is edible.
Oh
Boil
man,
up some water.
I was gonna.
Run
Yeah,
out.
haven't you ever had jerky? It's the same thing.
When you run out of borscht.
There's a really sweet leather shop downtown. I'm just gonna shove it in there. No, I was downtown at the market square, and at the Mercado, they have a little leather shop. And they got backpacks, fanny packs, belts. They had a lot of gun holsters, like for 6-shooters. Way too many than you would think that would be necessary for anyone.
You think maybe some of those are actually beer holders?
No, I think they were just like, I think they're for tourists who want to go back home to like Connecticut or whatever the fuck and be like, look, I bought a authentic Texan leather gun holster. Yeehaw! I think that's all it is. Like, they're and it's firm leather. Like, it's not even gonna feel good putting it on. You gotta break that shit in. And you can't even fit a gun in it because you got to break that shit in. It's so tight.
I like how you're doing that hand motion as you say it.
People
Yeah.
can't see what you're doing.
I'm just saying.
I think the intent can be conveyed.
Anyone
through
who's
your
tried to
voice.
fish some leather, you know what I'm talking about. But, I'm just saying, like that.
Just fuck somebody.
No. Okay, I had. Fuck. They had good fanny packs. They had some nice backpacks. I already had a backpack, but I want a fanny pack. I wanted a leather fanny pack because the one I have, that Deadpool one, it's all right. But
I'm trying to imagine a leather fanny pack, and I just can't.
I'm gonna take you to the store. You're gonna see what I
Can't
mean.
help but think a leather fanny pack would just look even stupider than a regular one.
No. You're wrong.
Like now, at
It's
that
the
point,
opposite.
You're trying too hard.
It would look more badass because it's leather.
But it's a fanny pack.
It's like you made it yourself. You're like
and
a
fanny pack made
gunslinger.
of leather is just a waste of good leather.
You could hold all your items. Imagine hiking. You're going up the mountains and you open up your leather badass fanny pack
That shit's gonna be so uncomfortable
And
if you're
you-
hiking.
and you got your little Slim Jim, or they have hats too. They got the badass leather hats. I've always wanted a.
Now tell me do they have the basic leather vests?
They got vests.
Do they have pants?
Chaps.
I think they had chaps.
Shoes?
Look, you gotta realize, like, this is. They don't have the boots. Maybe they had boots. I didn't really look on the floor.
Do they have leather
It was a
gift
small
vests?
store. It was like the store was the size of maybe like 3 of these rooms, of this room that we're in right now. Like 3 of them, but like lengthwise.
Okay. So it's like a.
Maybe like 2.5. I don't know. It was
I can imagine it. You gotta take me there.
maybe it was 3. It was
I
like
can point and laugh at the leather fanny packs.
no. I'm gonna go back with some money and I'm gonna buy
Fanny packs.
me a nice sweet gunslinger fucking cowboy hat and a fanny pack, and I'm gonna walk around with pride because it smells good.
Something about a leather fanny pack. The fanny pack itself is supposed to give the vibe that you're not really trying, but once you get it leather, all of a sudden you're trying.
Well, you're trying to have a nice durable fanny pack that isn't gonna,
Why do you need a durable fanny pack?
Because you're
What kind of
you're
action are you
traveling. You're
What
traveling.
are you doing with the fanny pack?
You're
that you
doing
needed to
badass
survive?
shit. You're running and you're climbing shit. I don't know. I'm just trying to look ahead.
I feel like you're that one guy in an action movie who doesn't want to be the action star, but suddenly he's being pulled along through all the action. Like, oh, look at me, I got my fanny pack, and now you're ducked behind a table as bullets whizzing by.
Dude, when I take you
And
to
at
this,
the end of the movie, when you, step up, you replace your old fanny pack with a leather one. That you hold, that you hold the secret gun in that you used to kill the bad guy at the end.
It's definitely a conversation starter. As in,
We don't know. I'm into this idea now. This would make a fucking great ass movie.
just think of fuck your movie for one. Just think of any good RPG game where your first
talking about equipment.
your first craft right below leather is what? Just
Cloth.
Gold.
cloth,
Minecraft diamonds.
but right above cloth is leather.
What's above leather?
It doesn't matter because we're talking about leather here, and that's all you need for sneaking missions. Anything higher than leather is going to be heavy. All right,
It also makes it durable. You got bronze, you got steel. No.
Yeah, why don't you just go with a stainless steel fanny pack?
that'd be
Instead of-
pretty dope.
Instead of a conversation starter, now you got something to brag about.
Just king, that's my fanny pack.
A solid gold fanny pack.
No, gold
You've
wouldn't.
heard of wasting money on a solid gold toilet. No.
Gold is stupid. Like it's brittle.
That's decadent.
At least leather can bend and contort, and sure you can't really get it wet too much, but I don't know. You just slap some shit some weatherproof shit on the outside of it, and I don't know.
Leatherproof wax on your leather.
I'm not even
fanny pack.
100% sure that it's full on leather, these fanny packs. All I know is that they look like the kind that I wanted before I got this fucking Deadpool shit that's faux leather. And all the other fanny packs you see, like the ones we saw at Six Flags, where it's just that weird plastic where it looks like hologram, like shiny shit. Just, I don't know.
Ellen, I know what I'm gonna get you for your birthday.
Thank you. That's all I wanted. The hat or the fanny pack?
You'll find out.
Alright. I got some boots over there. If y'all see them, that little big long ones, I got them at the thrift store for $12.
You're not gonna be that one asshole who's walking around in full denim. You're gonna be that asshole walking around in full leather.
Oh yeah. My joints are gonna suck.
I'm gonna get you some leather underwear.
Leather
Go
man
underneath your
Alan.
leather pants. Walk around in your leather shoes. Topped with a leather wife beater underneath
A leather wife beater.
a leather wife beater.
Just walking around town,
No, because the wife beater goes underneath.
sweaty,
It's underneath your
Always.
leather button up.
always ready to party. Good for an S&M gear. Probably good for swimming. Probably not, because it's leather. You never mind. It's a bad idea.
No,
this
I'm
is
just
good.
no, I'm just trying to think of the next subject because, I mean, this is fine.
Let's pull it back to the Joker.
All right, back to the Joker.
Did we have any cons about the Joker? Was there anything you didn't
Okay.
like or thought maybe wasn't as good as the rest of it?
There's only two
He
things.
didn't sound like Mark Hamill.
It's
You son of a bitch. You're such a fucking purist.
again, each Joker is its own universe Joker. I'm fine with this Joker. I loved it. I don't know if he should go into his own franchise. It'd be pretty hard to.
Yeah, I'm still a little confused on whether or not this is a standalone movie or if it's part of the DCEU.
It's standalone.
Is it?
As of right now, yeah, it's standalone.
Like, I feel like they could go ahead and just pull this right into the DCEU.
It's standalone, and
God, imagine that. This guy going from the Joaquin Phoenix Joker that's set in the 80s to the Jared Leto Joker set in the modern day. Within 40 years, this
He
30
just
something
gets
oh
younger.
guy
no.
turns
No.
into
That'll be
quote,
different.
unquote, sexy Jared Leto Joker.
Well, no, if DC wants to be a successful movie studio or whatever you want to call it, you got to do movies like this that take chances. Because Marvel, they got the 20,000 movies that they got to follow by, and it's like all overlooked by Disney and Michael Phoebe or whatever the fuck his name is.
Like,
And they have a certain formula. DC, they tried it for a little bit, but they couldn't keep up. So if you make movies like Wonder Woman, movies like Aquaman, movies like Shazam, which more or less have been staying in their own little ballparks, and then you got movies like The Joker, who's a hard R movie, you can
was it
have...
rated R?
It's rated R.
Because I only heard them say fuck once in that movie.
I think it was
I thought
rated
it was
R.
like a PG-13 movie, and they were just using its first star. I mean, don't get me wrong. The second we saw like him blow someone's head off, I figured, okay, this might not be PG-13.
I mean, come on. I saw you when he was, killing the other clown guy in his apartment, and
That was a sad moment. I was
it was sad.
I was scared for the little midget guy.
Aww.
For the little person.
Nah,
I was
he
really
was-
hoping, like, no, he didn't do anything to you.
Nah, he was
don't
fine.
hurt him.
Like how at the last minute, he's like, he pulls his hands off. Ah!
No, the part where they couldn't reach the chain. That was.
Oh, that sucks.
Oh, God.
That sucks. All he wants to do is leave. He's got to ask the murderer.
Because when when he
him.
lets them in and he locks the door behind them and you see him do the chain, I remember noticing that part first. I'm like, oh, he's locking it behind him. He's gonna do something.
See, that's just it. I didn't notice him lock the door.
Also, he grabbed the scissors. Like, what was he going to do with those scissors besides?
He's gonna cut the shit out of their hair, but nope.
And let's be honest though, did Randall really think he would just like not assault him in any way?
Dude, that guy
Randall was the guy who got him fired from his job.
he is. You can argue he's responsible for creating the Joker.
See, I didn't want to say it.
That man, because he gave him the gun, he framed him for getting fired.
He lied about him buying another gun.
He lied. I mean, that's all you really need. I mean, everything else, yeah, his mother being crazy, lying about everything.
I think Randall getting Joker fired was definitely the straw that broke the camel's back. Because after that, it was just
Yeah.
like Joker was had seemed like he was on a downward
Right.
spiral his whole life. Like he's continuously walking just endless flights of stairs. And that moment where Randall got fired, he just said "fuck it" and he just jumped he just jumped over the railing.
Wait, which railing?
It's a metaphor.
Oh,
All right. I was getting lost. I was like,
I thought this was like the girl that wanted a pony.
Okay, it's not. Hey, first off, fuck off.
No, I was gonna bring up the subway. Those three dudes.
Fuck 'em.
Fuck it. Okay, I was gonna say, did they deserve to die? I think they did.
Yeah, why not?
Okay, I'll say they didn't deserve to.
What good were they doing in the first place?
They were a bunch of assholes. I don't think they should have died, but I think it was just unlucky for them.
the way
They're
they
fucking with a mentally ill guy with a gun.
yeah, the way they did it, like you definitely wanted him to,
Yeah,
fight back.
I was afraid they're just
Like,
gonna
I'm
kick
not
his
gonna
ass.
lie, though. When he first got on the subway, and I heard like you heard them chuckling to themselves before you actually saw them. I really thought it was gonna be the kids from the beginning of the movie.
Oh yeah, I thought those kids were gonna come in later.
Yeah, same here.
Like they're Joker followers now, and the actual Joker shows up.
I think what I thought that would happen would we see them, and they would be the ones getting jumped.
See, having the Joker actually get back at those kids would have made sense, but it wouldn't have been as satisfying, I don't think.
I mean, of course,
Especially
a bunch of
'cause-
14-year-olds getting their shit kicked in.
But a more interesting scene would have been at the near the end when, maybe not even near the end, but when the Joker finds out that these kids are now wearing Joker masks, and then they take off the mask, and the Joker knows it's those same kids. Which, when he was on that fake date with the imaginary girlfriend, and they were like riding around with those masks, I think those are the kids inside that car passing by.
That'd
No,
be
I think
cool.
that was just like some random ass guy. And that was like the first thing setting off.
Would have been easier for
Setting off
casting
Joker
as
that
well.
something was starting.
But maybe that made him feel good. That even these people that beat the shit out of him, they were just products of this horrible Gotham environment. Which, by the way, I want to throw it out there. I love the way they depicted Gotham.
Same here. I think this was the very first time I've seen Gotham in any sort of medium, including the comics, that made me feel like I did not want to live there.
Yeah.
Like every time you see Gotham in some like video game or cartoon, it just looks like some other bad side of town. But this one, I think it just took it a little step
It was
further.
a fucked up place.
It's like a very dingy New York.
Yeah, super rats walking around.
Did you see the super rats like at the end though?
Yeah.
Like they ran past little Bruce Wayne, like in the back of.
Yeah. Oh man.
Those things were fucking huge.
I didn't see that at all.
Did you guys also think little Bruce was just a little dumbass?
I thought he was a kid being played by a kid actor.
I think I made a joke about I think my friend Alex posted something, and I posted back, yeah, it turns out little Bruce was crazy the whole time as well. It was mean. It was a mean joke. Kind of poking.
I do think it was kind of weird that his treehouse is right there at the fence. But then when you get to the actual gate, you see that the house is still like half a mile down.
Because he lets him put his thumbs in his mouth, and he's just like, he just seemed like...
Unfazed.
He seemed like he was already dead inside, and all he needed was the parents to die, and he's just like, fuck.
It seemed like that may have been like the 20th shot that day, and the kid just wanted to go back to the trailer and eat his cake.
But the way Gotham was portrayed, and the way the riot just broke out, and the whole Joker stuff, and then Bruce seeing all that unfold, and having his parents, it's more believable why he would become a vigilante than your classic story of, oh, his parents just randomly got shot. Because it's like...
I don't know. I would disagree.
People always just randomly get shot every day. Why take it out on the whole city if if one person shot your parents?
That goes back into the whole you were just unlucky bit. It was just some common thief who would kill Batman's parents. Because it's that common thievery that plagues the city. You gotta remember, when Batman, it's basically implied that when Batman was just a kid, that was all there was. Mad scientists and walking piles of sludge and human crocodile monsters. Those were incredibly rare back when Batman was a kid, but they increased in number. Not those examples in particularly, but the comic book monsters and the comic book bad guys were basically such a rare thing that it was that common level of thievery and that common level of murder that would set off Batman, because those were the people Batman wanted to go against. People like the Joker and Two-Face and what's the mud guy's name?
Clayface.
Oh man,
Clayface.
I
Yeah,
wasn't gonna remember
people
that.
like Clayface and the Crocodile and Deadshot and Deadeye and
Yeah.
basically every comic book villain. Batman didn't sign up to fight those guys.
Yeah, it's true.
They just came with the job. Those were the hazards of being a superhero. Batman signed up to scare the life out of the common.
So,
And to me, I that going back into the question, the cons, I think that is kind of one of my cons of the movie, because it just sort of like makes everything about the Joker.
it is a Joker movie.
I know, of course, but I really didn't think we needed to see Batman's parents get murdered by one of Joker's.
Oh, but I wanted to. In that movie,
Would
I
it-
don't
wanted
think
to.
it was whether or not we wanted to. I don't think we needed to.
Would it have
Yeah, we
been
didn't.
how much worse would it have been, or better, if it was actually Joaquin Phoenix Joker that shot Thomas Wayne?
I don't. Well, that's not what I'm talking about. I don't think. I think it kind of goes against the Batman mythos that it took a comic book villain to create Batman.
Okay.
Batman was created by common level.
So you like it that it was just common and then
Reasonless.
Yes, it was just some punk
Every-
with a gun who wanted the guy's wallet.
But I mean, even before the Joker in this storyline, Gotham was a mess, but Thomas Wayne and Martha Wayne were still kind of safe,
Of course, they're rich.
relatively speaking, and it took, the uproar and the riot started by the Joker to do all of that. I'm okay with it. I thought it was cool.
Well, I'm not really against all the rioting in general.
I like I like how they explained why all of these people would follow a clown dude, because every time you see the Joker and he's got his army of goons and they all have the Joker face paint on, I always thought that was bullshit. Like, why the fuck would these people wear clown paint and follow this madman who could just shoot anyone randomly? Why would they do that? But this movie finally explained to me, and they put it into a sense of, okay. And I guess Michael Caine kind of explains it in The Dark Knight, how he just wants to watch the world burn, and everyone wants to follow someone who they don't understand because they have nothing else to lose. But
It's a pretty good one.
they kind of did that with Heath Ledger's Joker, but he didn't really have like an army of clown dudes like you see on like Arkham or you see in the comics.
Well, the thing is, though, is that...
But I like the way they did it here, where it's like your everyday people who are sick and tired and fed up with the
Status quo.
the status quo, and you see this clown, and you have Thomas Wayne going on TV saying, "Well, everyone's a clown who don't pick up by the bootstraps and don't help themselves, and they're all just
And I think
losers."
that leads into
That didn't
another-
help much. That didn't help much at all.
Exactly, and I think that kind of leads into one of my next big problems of the movie.
Oh,
Because I was talking about this when I left the theater, and it's still in the back of my head. I don't like that they try to use the common words and phrases used by modern day protesters. The hashtag resist. They turned the hashtag eat the rich joke people on the internet use.
they didn't have hashtags. Though. They didn't have the
I know.
internet.
I mean, I'm talking about the actual phrases. Resist, eat the rich. Things like that.
But that's just been going on since the 70s
Of course,
and before
I know,
that.
I know, but it's most prominent nowadays than it's ever been. We got the rise of democratic socialism on the far left. We got the rise of fanaticism on the far right. Those phrases are most recognizable today.
Yeah.
And using them in the movie to show that those phrases are on the side of someone like the Joker who, yes, the movie puts in a sympathetic light, but it's still shown to be a monster. It's just that one thing puts a bad taste in my mouth, because people are going to take that out of that movie, and they're going to start affiliating those phrases in the real life, because people are just like that. And so they're going to see the resist, they're going to see the eat the rich, and they're going to see other phrases like that, and they're just going to affiliate them with someone like the Joker.
So you're afraid that people will sympathize with the Joker's character and want to do that in real life?
No. What I'm saying is that I don't like that they use those common phrases used by people most prominently and most recognizably in today's political field.
I think this is just like your director and whoever wrote it, and even maybe a little bit of Joaquin. They
wanted to take some modern day examples.
We live in this time. We're all aware of it. Even though it has, my argument is it's been going on since the beginning of mankind. You're always going to have that struggle between the unpowerful and the powerful.
Right, and that's not really what we're talking about, though. It's not about the struggle. It's about the words that we use. Yes, the struggle,
but you want to use words that
capitalistic thing has been around for decades. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the words that they're actually using in the movie to show the actual protest. The term "kill the rich" is something we see several times in the movie. We saw the term "resist" on several protest signs throughout the movie, and every time we saw them, it was accompanied by a clown, either in the newspaper, a clown face, or by a person wearing clown makeup or a clown mask in a protest. And these are the people who are being visibly shown to be on the Joker's side.
I'm just gonna have to disagree. That shit's been going on
again. That's
since
not
the
what we're talking
80s.
about. I'm not saying that
those words. Those resist.
Yes, those words have been around.
Kill the rich,
forever, but they are most recognizable today.
I don't know.
Those are the words people use today the most, that we see online the most, that people will see the most. You're not going to see pictures from 30, 40 years ago of resist. You're going to see 1,000 other different kinds of signs. The term resist is something that people actually use nowadays.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to make this a political podcast. What I'm simply saying is I don't like them using
political.
Shut the fuck up. I don't like that they're using the modern day phrase used by a political group that is likely going to get them affiliated with a undeniably dark character.
Yeah, I understand.
Like, they could have used literally any other phrase, because like you said, this has been going on for forever. And because this has been going on forever, there are countless different ways they could have used this. But they used these two phrases the most I saw in the movie.
I'm gonna have to show you a song by Queensryche. They made a song in the early.
I love Queen.
Queensryche.
Yeah,
it's like Queen.
Right.
It's like Queen if
right
they joined the Third Reich. There's a song called Resistance, and it's about resistance.
Yes, I know, because resistance is a popular thing.
The album Operation Mindcrime.
Again, your idea is completely different than what I'm talking about. I'm not saying these terms are new. What I'm saying is that the term resist by itself is a modern day term that is used most prominently.
Well, like that's
by people like Antifa.
That's my only.
Rioters.
That's the only part that I don't agree with. Like that the term or the word resist is a brand with a little TM on the side.
Well, it's
that's
not,
only being used today.
Most prominently today.
But that's because we have. That's because we have Twitter and Instagram and Facebook where we get to prominently use these words more and more, and they're like shoved in our throats. Like, it's always been out there. It just hasn't been.
No one is arguing that they're not. That they
just hasn't been prominent because, like,
they are though. When words get used more often, they become more prominent. They get more recognizable.
I think I just listen to too much. I think I just listen to too much. I don't know. resistance radio music where everyone's like, resist, kill the rich, fuck the police.
Hell yeah.
Like, I mean, look, like if
Like the term resist is all I'm saying is
look, Josh,
resist.
if you want to vote for Trump next week or next year, and keep, I mean,
I'll have you know I'm a far leftist. And that's why I'll admit it. That's why I kind of.
So okay. What you're saying is, from what I'm gathering, the movie was a little bit too modern,
No, what I'm getting
or
at
maybe
is
they
I
used
don't like that they use.
too much modern terminology that you see.
I don't like that they focus on these two modern terminologies.
Yeah.
And that they affiliated them this much with.
Well, that's the wacky thing about this.
Because here's the thing, I can tell you right now, if my father sees this movie, all that shit's gonna go right over his head, and he's just gonna see the idiot rioters destroying the place. All the nuances, all the themes about how it built up to that, someone like my father is not gonna see that. All someone like my father is gonna see is a bunch of dumb protesters who just want to fuck shit up.
Yeah.
Throwing around the words resist.
Now
with
look.
the term "kill the rich" on newspapers and signs throughout the entire movie.
So he'll be on Thomas Wayne's side.
I don't think he would be on Thomas Wayne's side, but he's not going to be on the side of the people rioting. He's not, because the rioters are always. Look, like I said, we're not trying to turn this into a political.
We're in the weeds now.
It's the Maibalzich podcast. No,
Whoever's getting this far is in for a treat. People who thought this was going to be a Joker review.
no. I think protesting can only bring awareness, but it can't really. And like, this is controversial.
It's a hot take.
It's a hot take, but protesting can only raise awareness if it gets the attention of the right people. But other than that, if you really want to make change, you have to get involved in the system in which you're trying to change, and burning buildings down and following a clown or a madman and like crushing your ambulance truck into a cop car is not going to do shit. You're only going to piss off those in power, and like there's in no way, shape, or form is the Joker and his little henchman gang good people. So your dad's probably right. If he sees this movie, he'd be like, "These fucking pussies are just rioting. Like, fuck them."
That's just it. When you're just looking at it, it's just like, yeah, fuck them.
Yeah, like
But
shouting.
you actually look at the nuances. You're looking at, these are the people who have been getting fucked over their whole lives,
Yeah.
and they're realizing, holy shit, there are more of us than them.
Yeah, I was only saying that I could see why these people.
I'm gonna pull this out of my ass. As Martin Luther King Jr. once said, riots are the voice of the people.
Okay. Did he riot?
I mean, that, as far as the newspapers at the time figured, he might as well have.
I know he marched.
Yeah, we know he marched, but people at that time always said, he riots.
Riots are tricky because
Like, you gotta remember, that's people like MLK. I know we're turning this into something else.
it's fine. It's
Like, he was a peaceful...
no one's listening.
He was a peaceful protester, but people at the time didn't like MLK.
Yeah, they don't
They
like
used-
peace.
And a lot of his marches did end in violence, mostly due to police making it violent.
Those dogs, those damn dogs.
There's a reason people say fuck the police and not fuck the firefighters. But they're
9/11.
9/11.
Wait, no, continue.
What I'm trying to get at is you're using these common phrases that people see a lot nowadays due to social media. Like, these are the phrases a lot of people use today. Like, these exact phrases. It's not some general usage like resistance or resist the power. Like, it was almost word for word the ones that we always see when people bring into criticisms on the current status quo. And they're being used, and it's being portrayed by being used by people who are just going to be seen as chaotic rioters.
Okay.
like I said, someone like my father, all the nuances of the movie, all the themes are gonna go right over his head,
I hope your father ain't listening to this.
and he's just going to. Someone like my father is gonna see all this. He's gonna see the terms they're using, and in real life, he's probably gonna start affiliating those real life terms, whether they're modern or even from the past, with people like the Joker and his followers.
Would he still enjoy the movie?
I don't think my father would enjoy the movie.
No?
No, he doesn't seem interested in the movie. He didn't seem interested when I told him we were going to see it. He actually told me, because he asked me, "Oh gosh, where are you guys going out?" "Oh, we're just going to go see the new Joker movie." "You're going to go spend money on that?"
It's like, oh, you guys gonna go out and get some pussy? No, we're gonna go see the Joker. Oh.
The opposite.
Oh. Oh.
Make sure you don't go by yourself. You'll get arrested.
Yeah, I mean, your dad sounds like a cool guy. What are you showing me?
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is she showing you pictures of Austin?
No.
Show
Where
me.
is Austin?
Show me. No, Austin's not here. Well, hey, Victor, what do you have to say about heavy political ideas and nuances?
What were your cons for the movie? Because
Yeah,
let me just reiterate, my cons of the movie.
Go into detail.
I didn't like
for an hour.
Yes, because you said you had to go to bed soon on the way.
We didn't let you talk.
Yeah. I like how they were rioting.
He likes the style that they're rioting in.
He said that he liked that they were rioting, not the style.
He likes what they're wearing. They're wearing various urban outfits with masks.
With their urban hair.
Hey, come on. No, okay. What?
Come on, you can just say black.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm not gonna say that. I'm just
What the fuck is wrong with you, Victor?
I like how there was fire everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fire is fun. Fire is
All right. Before you go, I just want to say.
Wait, why is he going?
Well, no, he's got to work in the morning. It's 2:00 in the morning.
Says who?
We'll still continue, but I just want before Victor leaves because he's got to go Mimi's. That's right. I'm saying it out loud. I just want to say.
I don't know what that means.
You'll find out.
Figure it out. Context.
I could see what you're saying, and I think that's because the director or the powers that be, they wanted to put these modern. I'm doing air quotes.
That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the Victor like.
No. I'm just saying like the whole riots and all the modern terminology and throwing the classism and the warfare. I think that was an easy way to portray the Joker story in a nice, digestible manner for today's audience, because a lot of people today are pretty stupid, and they'll only understand what they know from the internet and from social media. And when they see a story like this, it's easier for them to understand this kind of tale when it's like done in the like, oh, they must be those kind of people that riot and they do all this stuff. And you probably didn't like it as much in that way.
Don't get me wrong, I still give the movie like 9 out of 10.
I thought it was kind of, it was kind of cool
like
how
it wasn't in your face about it, but it was noticeable to me that they were doing this.
Yeah. I thought he earned at least the 50 people that crowded around him at the end. I thought that was okay.
More like 50.
They portrayed him as incredibly vulnerable for a murderer.
Yeah, at any moment he could have got shot on the set of the show, but they just tackled him. Like I mean, spoiler alert, he shoots Robert De Niro, and then everyone kind of just screams and runs away. And
yeah, I really didn't think that was going to be the actual climax of the movie.
Oh man, I mean, and the way they did it though, like it wasn't slow mo, it wasn't like dramatic, it was just like matter of fact, just
boom,
loud as fuck. Shoots him a second time. You think he's gonna shoot himself afterwards, but nope, one more in the chest.
Yeah, it really seemed like that was what the movie was building up to. The classic rule of 3. He practiced twice shooting himself on a couch.
Yeah.
Like I knew they weren't gonna.
I
do
thought
that.
I thought he was gonna shoot the old lady, the Dr. Ruth or whatever.
The fact that he didn't hurt the little guy earlier. What was his name?
I don't remember.
Rudy or something.
Well, we're not calling him midget anymore.
Little guy. No, like that scene was cool. I liked it. That to me was full blown like Joker right there. That to me is when he became the Joker, and then him going on the show was just like introducing himself to the world as Joker, and then the final piece where he's with the crowd and they like pretty much, rescue him from the car, and that was just when he becomes just like leader of many, the crime king, or was it the clown prince of crime?
Yeah, that's what he's
whatever
called.
the fuck. And maybe he'll become a clown prince of crime, but
I will say I'm really curious because I know they're rumored to have approved a sequel already. I'm
Yeah,
curious
to
how
that
they're
one?
going to make this really This is a really grounded Joker that makes a lot of sense. I'm curious how they're going to take this into the chaotic evil Joker who does shit for giggles.
They're actually making a sequel to this one?
I don't know.
It's rumored already. The movie's
It's
already
true.
How
I
do
mean,
you do
it
that?
made a lot of money, so they want to do something.
Oh, I see.
I imagine, but I don't
Okay.
think he can do it
Right?
I think they could.
because Joaquin Phoenix is gonna have to lose all that weight again.
Yeah, and he was not a good skinny person. Like, he had
And
big,
sometimes he really did just seem like a physically deformed person.
Like
he has big bones.
I mean, he's told people that he doesn't want to ever do that again, but at the same time, he had fun doing it. Like, he wasn't exactly losing his mind.
See, that's just it. He doesn't have to lose all that weight again. It could just be like, it can just show the general progression of the Joker's character. Like, oh yeah, the Joker's put on a few pounds.
Like later on, when he's not taking all of his medication, he's like healthy Joker.
I don't think healthy. I think it's just he's physically different.
Yeah, I mean, I could do it. I mean, it's Joaquin Phoenix isn't like exactly like overweight or anything. He can easily.
No, but like
Lose weight
He
and-
looks like a normal fucking person, and the Joker in this movie did not look like a normal fucking person.
No.
But man, he's just a crazy guy.
Victor, we kept interrupting your thoughts, man. What were your cons of the movie?
Oh no, hold on. I was interrupting myself.
God.
Not to jump ahead, but I wanted to say what my cons about this movie. I had two cons. One of them being when they finds out that the girlfriend was fake, and he goes into the apartment, and the girl's like, "Oh shit, what are you doing in here? Get out of here!" And that's when you find out that the girlfriend's fake. But then they throw in those flashbacks for those people that are too stupid to realize what's going on. Why is she scared? What's going on?
Why doesn't she know his name?
And then they flash back. Oh, she wasn't there the whole time. It's like, yeah, I mean, it was like,
You don't think that scene was necessary?
nah.
Flashbacks?
And that's why when I find out that the director made The Hangover, that I feel like, okay, that explains it for some reason. Like, he was always like, because when he made the Hangover movies, those funny movies, well done-ish movies, but made for the masses. And again, I'm a strong proponent of the masses are stupid, and you have to like really,
Hold her hand a bit.
you have to hold the hand a bit, yeah. And so when he did that, I'm like, I can forgive it. And then the other part that kind of bothered me a little bit was when he walked into that glass door, and it was clearly the exit door, and then you get it, you're like, oh, it was the exit door. And then the fucking cop has to say out loud, it's the exit door. Like, dude, we know that. You don't have to say it out loud.
I don't know, I feel like that sort of just added on to the Joker's patheticness at the time.
Yeah, that scene itself was fine. I'm just saying the cop verbally saying, oh, it was the exit. Like, we know it's the exit. But that's fine. This is a little nitpick. One big nitpick that I have, before I let Victor finally chime in, I'm sorry, but I have to say this, and I want to know if you guys picked up on this. his gun, correct me if I'm wrong, is a 6-shooter,
I
right?
think it was a 5-shooter.
5-shooter?
That's a gun that small. I think it would have been a 5-shooter.
That makes it worse then, because when he shoots the guys in the subway, he fires off 9 rounds.
Yeah, that was way too many for that little gun.
Like, I was expecting, because in my mind, and when I saw with my cousin Jeremy, he was counting too. I even saw him counting with his hand. And
That's a little bitch.
he shoots 2 the first dude. He shoots 2 into the next guy, and then the last guy, the fat guy, he shoots in the leg as he's trying to get away.
Unless he like reloaded.
He could have reloaded. He could have very well reloaded and is like,
That's
crazy.
just that reloading would have been something that would have like taken him out of that blind rage.
Yeah, he was in that blind rage. He was just like stumbling around, like following this dude. So when he fires, he shoots the guy in the back. The last round, which what I thought was the 6th round, and then he walks up closer to him and he's aiming.
And he fires like another 3 shots.
Another 3 shots. I thought it would have been a nice touch if he walks up to him, and then he's about to finish him off, and then click, 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 and then he does he starts laughing, or he like does a dance, or maybe just laughing.
No, just click, click, click. Turns around to reload.
Or maybe the guy rolls over and looks at him, and then he starts laughing as he's reloading.
Tells him to smile.
But he's not the Joker yet. He's still Arthur Fleck, so he's still.
Yeah, he wouldn't have been laughing. He would have been grunting like, "Come on."
But
Here.
but his condition is like he laughs whenever he's like nervous or scared or whatever the fuck. So he could have very well have laughed uncontrollably as he's like realizing he doesn't have any. I don't know. I'm just.
I feel like the laughing was inappropriate for the movie in that scene.
Oh shit! You're telling me out of all the scenes where he laughs inappropriately, that would have been the scene.
Not like it would have been inappropriate for him to laugh. I mean, like as like an actual technical how to write a scene.
Yeah.
I don't think it would have been. I don't think it would have helped the scene flow well. Because, like you said, he's not the Joker at this point. He only before he became the Joker, he only laughed when he was like really nervous or really anxious, and he wasn't that during that part of the movie yet. That specific scene, he was just in a sort of blind rage, so it wouldn't have made sense for him to laugh. Not until after the moment when he's like realizing what the fuck he just did.
Okay.
Which he did do. He was dancing in the public restroom.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure there was some off camera. There was just some homeless guy taking a whiz, looking at this guy in clown makeup just dancing.
Yeah, I was wondering that. That was a public restroom, and no one else has to use that restroom. Like,
maybe not at that time of night.
Victor, thoughts?
Yeah, Victor.
You wanted to know cons.
Final thoughts. You have 2 minutes.
No final thoughts, Victor.
Now on the spot. I don't know.
Was there anything about the movie?
Did he kill that woman at the end? I mean, there's red on his shoe, but was that the woman that had been interviewing him this entire time, like throughout the movie? Did he murder her?
Maybe.
And the orderly chasing him around, like, does he know that he murdered her? How did he end up in that institution?
I feel like
It seemed like he got away scot-free.
I mean, it's a Arkham Insane Asylum. I don't think you can constitute it as getting off scot-free.
maybe when he was in there at the end, the Bruce Wayne already became Batman and caught him, threw him in the Arkham Asylum.
No, I think by the end of the ride he would have been caught. This was a much more grounded comic book movie. I don't think there would have been he gets away and he becomes the Clown Prince of Crime. No, I think he got hurt in that car wreck at the end. I don't think he was going to be able to run or.
He went to the hospital, then
I
he
think
went
eventually some other cops
the
would have
loony
come
bin
around, seen him. You know, there are
Right.
cops everywhere. So I'm pretty sure a few of them probably drove around the corner, saw
Yeah.
him dancing on the
I'm wondering why there wasn't more cops at that riot with
Ugh.
like riot shields
I
and
mean, like they said, the
tear
whole city was
gas.
on fire.
It was weird to see, but it was also very great to see the progression of how he turns from like a timid, childlike in thoughts as well, person, you know, who loves his mom and has these dumb little imaginations of him being, you know, at that late night show, being interviewed as an audience member. All of a sudden now he's got a father figure. Then he goes from that to actually espousing like the things he's always thought about society, and then shooting the father figure in the head.
oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't really have too many cons about this movie. I enjoyed it. I felt really good.
Yeah. I mean,
Alright, so final thoughts, Alan?
no. I mean, I said everything I had to in the last podcast. You guys are just dealing with my leftovers.
Just dealing with the scraps.
No, it's all still fresh in my head. I'm not gonna be a dick and be like, oh, you should go back and listen to my last one.
Fucked
I-
up.
No, you know, you're bringing up some good points, and everyone has a different interpretation of the
Perspective.
movie. Yeah, perspective, and I thought it was a good. I thought it was a good. I thought it was a good Joker tale, a good Joker story, which, in the end, everyone's saying this doesn't even seem like a comic book movie. This seems like a.
That's just it, though. I don't think it did seem like a comic movie. It
It
seemed
does-
very artsy.
I know, but okay. Let me just say this, and please don't interrupt because it takes me a while to talk. What you just said, and I hear a lot of reviews saying this doesn't seem like a comic book movie, and the fact that people see this movie and they love it, and because of that, they say that they don't think it's a comic book movie. I think right there proves that people don't want to admit that a comic book movie can't be this good, because once a movie becomes good, like cerebral and like good, like the way the message is conveyed, that it can't be a comic movie, because comic book movies have to be the Avengers. Comic book movies have to be colorful and da 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 da. And graphic novels, like people like Frank Miller and Alan Moore, and those are the only two people I can name. Like they've been making these comic books that are so more like just deep and dark and gritty, and this is the type of movie we've been wanting since the fucking 90s, where you get these characters that you have a character, a true character, a movie of what's the term? It's just like a character piece, like where you're just breaking down a character, and I'm not gonna say character 10 more times. Character. Yeah, sure, and it's a comic book movie. It's about the Joker, and it's done in the form or in the style of a mentally ill person who finds confidence, and shit happens, and forms a cult and murders people. Which, by the way, all the people that have been saying that this movie is gonna, like, it's so murderous and it's so grotesque, there was very little murder in this movie
Honestly, kind of, yeah. There was.
than what they were making it out to be.
I think just because it is a comic book movie, that it is like a lot of murder. It's a lot of I don't want to say gruesome murder, but it's a very grounded murder.
The way people were describing this movie, I was thinking of that scene from like Modern Warfare, where you have to go with the Russians into that airport
That famous scene that you have
and
to
murder
play.
everyone in the airport. Like, that shit was gruesome. Like, they were like, oh, people are gonna want to do mass murders. Like, when does the Joker do mass murders in this movie? Because I didn't see it. He murders.
To be fair, there were those riots. I'm pretty sure a lot of people.
Yeah, but that was the riots.
It's a different different mentality altogether.
That shit's happening.
That's a group activity.
That shit's happening today in other countries and this country. Like just. So walking out of the movie, I just didn't buy the whole. This movie's gonna make people emboldened to go and commit murderous acts. Like they just did it in a way that makes you think too much about what turns a man to the dark side. But
to be fair, that's the whole point of the entire origin of the Joker.
But yeah, exactly. It's the Joker. He's insane, and I like how this movie started him off as insane and just built upon that instead of the classic story where he's a normal guy and all it takes is one day. I always hated that whole all it takes is one day, because then he wanted Batman or Commissioner Gordon to have one bad day. He's like, everyone loves the Joker, but they forget that he fucking brutalizes and rapes fucking Barbara Gordon and beats Robin with a fucking crowbar. Like, oh, I love the Joker. I want to be like him and Harley Quinn. Like, no, the Joker's an asshole. He murders people for fun. You fucking dick. Like, why would you idolize that character? And I've always...
One of his most iconic weapons literally kills people and forces them to smile about it as they die.
Yeah, and so this movie just turned my idea of the Joker on its head, because now I'm thinking, okay, well, at least this interpretation of the Joker, it's like he's insane and he can't help it, and he just laughs because he can't help but laugh, but maybe that laugh is, he really does find the world just so pathetic and funny.
Is it like the police officer said? Is it a condition, or is it part of the act?
There you go. Like that's another thing to think about. Like, were those when he comes out of that the girl down the hallway, when he comes out of her door and goes into his room, and you see the sirens out in the flashing through the lights, and you hear the people banging on the door down the hallway. Was that at the girl's apartment?
Oh, that was a dude telling him to shut the fuck up.
Like. There
was an implication.
I love how they just implied it. Like, what did he do to the girl and the daughter? You're like, no, please.
Well,
and they didn't show it, so I'm like, okay, cool. He left them alone. He just went back home. And I didn't even think about that. Somebody banging on the door telling him to be quiet because he's laughing all night.
Yeah.
So that's cool. I feel better now.
I don't know. I think it's kind of weird that someone told him to be quiet after when he was laughing, but not when he accidentally shot that gun in his apartment.
Well, that's because he was watching a war movie.
Quote unquote war movie.
Alright. I'm gonna head out.
Alright, Victor's heading out.
We're gonna edit this part out.
Sure. Alright.
It's real. This is real. It's all real. That's what the people want.
Good night, Victor.
You have a good night too.
Go to work tomorrow. Let's just wait for him to close the door. Alright, so Victor just had to leave real quick. I'm hoping Alan edited out all that little bit about him actually leaving. If he doesn't, it's his podcast. He can do whatever the hell he wants.
No,
what I wanted to say, going back into the beginning of the final thoughts about whether or not this counts as a comic book movie and why people are questioning it, I think it's just because of how grounded it is. I think before this, the most grounded superhero movie was the Nolan Batman movies. And in that one, you got the crazy rich billionaire dressed as a bat. Oh, shit. You dropped your beer.
that's fine.
You got this billionaire going around dressed as a bat. He's driving in a fucking assault vehicle meant for the Middle East. He's got this weird motorcycle thing that's a part of it.
Yeah.
By the third movie, he's in this fucking hovercraft. The most grounded superhero movie was still not very grounded. And I think the reason people are claiming this isn't like a superhero movie is because it is so grounded. If you didn't know anything about comics, if you never even knew about Joker, and you watched this movie, you wouldn't think it was a comic book movie. You would think it was just one of those weird, independent artsy movies.
That's
made
true.
Made by a Wes Anderson type director.
I've never heard anyone bring up Wes Anderson.
Well, no, I'm just talking because Wes Anderson, he's basically like he has a monopoly on that whole independent director type of filmmaking.
Yeah. I'm just saying when you brought it up earlier, I was.
Like I said, it was mostly like the title screens and some of the cinematography.
Yeah.
And not a lot of it, but it ran into my head at some point in the movie.
The director, he did a breakdown of the opening scene, or the opening two scenes, and he actually explained the title. He wanted it to look like your classic 70s movie where they did the title and then they reshot it or reprinted it to make the edges look as blurry as they would have on film back in the day. They did something where they made it look more like, I don't know.
It did. I get what you're saying. But yeah, I think
It wasn't like the Marvel movies where like they show like Queens or Germany, where like, you know what I mean? Like, I forget which movie it was where like the big ass letters in the middle of the screen, and it was clear and crisp. It was clear and crisp. It's like, and it's like, oh, cool, modern.
Yeah, I think the closest the MCU gets is the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie, where Star-Lord's just dancing through that temple and suddenly Guardians of the Galaxy just appears above him.
Yeah.
No, I think the reason people are claiming this is unlike any other comic book movie we've seen is because the film itself is written to be as grounded as possible. It's meant to be as realistic as possible. There's no comic book shenanigans anywhere in this movie.
It's pretty realistic. Like
the most comic book it gets is the fact that the main character goes around dressed like a clown. But even that is a very realistic clown. It's not the whole. His costume looks like something you would actually see someone being a clown wear. It's the colorful suit. It's the actual clown makeup. Like it looks like a real version of It just looks like a clown. Not like a clown you would hire for a kid's birthday, but it does look just like a regular guy wearing a clown.
Clown with a gun. Alright.
So I think when people say that this is unlike any comic book movie, it's referring to that. I don't think it's the whole, comic book movies can't be a masterpiece or anything, like comic book movies can't be serious. Because you're right, comic books, for anyone who does read comic books is not a genre. It's like anything can happen in a comic. It could be something like Deadpool. It could be something like fucking the death of Superman. It could be Frank Miller's Batman. Comic book is not a genre. It's a medium. And I think you're right. I do think that gets lost in the translation from book to film. Because there's that concept, that idea that comic books are just, they're goofy, they're silly, that's a bat credit card and bat nipples on this bat suit.
Hell yeah!
And I think that's just as valid as the Walking Phoenix Joker, but it's not what people are used to, is what I think it is.
Yeah, you're right. This movie altogether isn't what people are used to.
It's just as valid a comic book movie as, the Batman movie, the Bat Nipple movie. But the modern audience, the mass audience, they're not used to that. They're not used to seeing anything from comics that isn't a little goofy.
Well, I hope this changes at least the DC movies, and if it makes them more. It's making them a lot of money, and maybe they'll be more courageous.
A little more experimental.
Yeah, on other movies. Like the new... I don't know what they're going to do with the new Batman movie. It looks like they're doing some crazy things, but as far as the other movies go, let the director do whatever they want. Don't take over like they did with Suicide Squad or even Even the
Honestly,
fucking
I think a movie like Suicide Squad could have worked if it just had better script.
yeah, like just get your shit together, DC. Like this really set the bar high for all movies, not just DC.
Oh my, you're actually kind of right. I never really realized that. Holy shit, this is like one of the best, if not the best, DC movie.
Yeah. Like
Aquaman will always be my number one, but like, you know, being objective, I think 2019's Joker is the best DC superhero movie.
yeah, because after like
Not even a superhero movie, just a DC Comics movie.
like leaving the how many are there? The Zack Snyder movies? Let's just say the Zack Snyder movies. Forgetting the Zack Snyder movies, all like that's why I mentioned earlier Aquaman, Wonder Woman, and even Shazam. I have yet to see Shazam, but I've heard some good things.
It's alright.
The fact that it's just on its own and it doesn't like try to shoehorn itself into the universe.
Kind of does at the end, but I'm not gonna say anything about it.
But even still, it's like if these movies work as standalones and people don't have to watch 20 movies to get, you know, this movie or that movie, and it's just like be weird with it, because the DC universe is pretty weird. Like it's not as tied together per se as maybe the Marvel is. Like you don't exactly have everyone in the same Flash panel as much as you would with Marvel. Like you do have the Lantern Corps, and you do have the Gotham universe, and and then you have the Krypton family and all that shit going on, and you got like all kinds of shit, and then you got your Arrowverse shit that's going on, which I haven't kept up with, but it's supposed to be pretty cool, and they're adding shows by the minute.
It's just a soap opera with superheroes in it.
Yeah, and like you can do some crazy shit with DC. It's just maybe I think people are comparing them so far close together, and I don't like to do that because I see them as different, and it's always going to be compared together. Like, oh, what's one or the other? It's one or the other. It's all comic books. It's all fun. It's all heroes.
Let's be real. Dark Horse Comics is the only good comic.
Yeah, I mean, it's like,
who doesn't love Hellboy?
I go back to my point from earlier. It's like, if it's from a comic book, but it's a good story and good characters, you could make it into a good movie or a show or a video game.
And that's why we're gonna go see the new One Piece movie.
Like, you don't have to do like a comic book video game and have it cel shaded to look just like the video game. Look what, like the Arkham series is still one of my favorite Batman interpretations, because I love what they do with the characters and the way they have their own little twist on everything. It's great. I love what they did with Penguin and Mr. Freeze and Poison Ivy, and it's just all grounded, but it's still like mystical, and they don't take itself too seriously. And yeah, we just need somebody clever enough to do Green Lantern right, or somebody to do, you know, some more. Like, I want to see the new Wonder Woman. Like,
I still think Green Lantern was an okay movie.
I thought it was okay too, but people were bitching about it, and apparently the director's cut's even better.
But go on with your thought. I interrupted you.
I'm just saying, like, it's, I don't know. It's just, it's a good sign. It's a good starter for, like, with this movie out now, we can expect, I don't know, we can expect better movies. I don't know what else to say. Like, it's,
yeah, DC, get your shit together.
Get your shit
we
together.
Want more shit like this.
Because with okay, again, comparing the two, Marvel, they don't have much legroom as far as experimenting. But with DC, now that Joker is proven successful, even though it had a little bit of controversy, and maybe that's why half of the people came out, but still, it was a good movie. And if you can do some movies with a message, or with a good actor, or somebody who, you know, they even said, like, Joaquin Phoenix and the director, there was like a discussion at some point saying, hey, what if we made a movie that was an old school Scorsese-esque late 70s movie, but we disguise it as a comic book movie in order for it to be made and released. And they said, hell yeah, let's do it. And that's pretty much what they did. And shit, if we can do more of that shit, I don't know. Then again, movies are very expensive to be made. I mean, you could put that money towards something else, like, you know, giving homeless people a home or something. I don't know.
Joker was a good movie.
It was good. It was good. I'm glad.
I think some people will have their problems with certain aspects of it. I know I did, but all in all, undoubtedly the best movie to come out of DC. You know, it's just objectively, I think DC's best movie. A 9 out of 10 for me.
9 out of 10? Yeah, I'll give it a 9 out of 10. Why not?
Yeah, I guess that's where we'll go ahead and close it up.
Alright, well, I would bring up more subjects, but we're an hour and a half in, and I'm about to pass out.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm barely keeping myself up, but I don't know if this is like a solid episode 10, or maybe this is just like a special edition, because I feel
I would call it a solid 10. It's an hour and a half. You know, there were some valid discussions going on.
Oh yeah, we got political, huh? Alright, well, this has been episode 10. Maibalzich podcast. I think Victor has some Instagrams somewhere, but I got my. I feel like I should plug all my Twitters.
No, I think you.
Just type in my name. Type in Maibalzich. See what comes up.
That's MAABLZICH.
That's not how you spell it. MAI.
What did I say?
You said MAA.
No, I said MAI.
No. MAIBALZICH.
Yeah, see, I got it right.
Yeah, whatever. Alright, yeah, you know what to do.
Alright, you ball scratchers, y'all have a good night.
Don't.
Is that not what we're calling your fans?
No, they have to call themselves that. But I don't know if ball scratchers is gonna.
No, it sticks. Trust me.
Alright, guys, this has been episode 10. I'm gonna close it out. And remember,
keep scratching them balls.
go see the Joker. This has been the second spoiler review. Maybe we'll make a third. I hope not. I mean, it's a good movie and all, but I think
it's not worth it. I don't think we could do another 2-hour talk.
I've said all I've said about it. It's good. Yeah. I guess now that I'm past the hump of 10, I'm just gonna keep pounding out more episodes. Oh, wait. I'll do it next time. I don't have the energy. I was gonna talk about my chicken sandwich tournament of power.
Yeah, no, that'll be next time.
There's 2 more contenders for let's just do a preview. I completely forgot about it, but I want to do it when I'm nice and awake, because this is a doozy. 2 more. I don't want to reveal their names, but there's 2 more contestants in the chicken sandwich tournament of power. It was quite the duel. It happened within like 2 days. The heavens shattered. The earth crumbled. It was insane, but there was a winner. A winner definitely came out, and I think that winner is high up on the roster. And let that be a cliffhanger for you. Find out next episode. I'll talk about the chicken sandwich tournament of power.
All right, Death Battle.
We have a new winner, and it keeps going, because Popeyes is yet to stock. It's on the fucking menu. Like, why don't they just stock their chicken sandwiches?
Y'all have a good night.
Have a good night.